Yo, gather round, the trash heap blow, where the flames are high and the vibes are low. I'm Dexter the raccoon, king of the bin, digging through headlines, where do I begin? From political scandals to viral cat fights, we roast them all under neon lights. Neon light, neon light, neon light, neon light, neon light. Welcome to Dexter's Dumpster Fire, where news gets burned and laughs go higher. I'm chatting about chaos, the silly and wild, with the trash panda grin, keeping it style. Dumpster fire, yeah, we're lit tonight. Grab your snacks, join the fight. Current events, we flip them upside down. Silly memes and theories all around town. From alien sightings to celebrity slips, I paw through the mess with my witty quips. No filter here, just pure raccoon flair. In this fiery pit, we don't play fair. So subscribe now, don't miss the blaze. Hit that bell for those dumpster days. We're talking trash in the best kind of way. Dexter's got the scoop, come out and play. Welcome to Dexter's Dumpster Fire, where news gets burned and laughs go higher. I'm chatting about chaos, the silly and wild, with a trash panda grin, keeping it style. Dumpster fire, yeah, we're lit tonight. Grab your snacks, join the fight. The tune, but the fire's just starting. Stick around, folks, Dexter's Dumpsters imparting all the hot takes and giggles you need. In this wild world, we're planting the seed. That's the end of the tune, but the fire's just starting. Stick around, folks, Dexter's Dumpsters imparting all the hot takes and giggles you need. In this wild world, planting the seed. Welcome to Dexter's Dumpster Fire, where news gets burned and laughs go higher. I'm chatting about chaos, the silly and wild, with a trash panda grin, keeping it style. Dumpster fire, yeah, we're lit tonight. Grab your snacks, join the fight.
Hey, hello everyone! It's Dexter! Yeah, I decided to stream again. I get to talk to myself for at least probably an hour. So I decided, well, let's do the stream and just some interesting stuff. I think right now Trump is yakking about something in the White House. Let's see if I can find that here. And I'll close this out here. And let's see, what do I find here? Is that still going on? Okay. Alright, this might take a second or so. But yeah, what's really interesting is what happened today, get rid of that, is John Bolton's house got raided. That bastard, that warmongering piece of crap by the FBI. So, I don't know what's going on. Let's see, Trump's just talking about some... he was talking about like the Olympics and stuff, so let's see if he has anything to say.
They work for stupid people that are radical left, and they're made to do things and say things that they don't want to be saying. But the people right here are all happy because you're not going to be mugged in Washington, D.C. anymore. I just want to say Johnny's been my friend for a long time. He's an incredible guy. And
yeah, the mainstream media news toilet is so upset that crime is down in Washington, D.C.
Has always worked out, and he's working with me on the Kennedy Center.
What do you think? Do you think they're working for people who maybe work for the people who get the drugs and stuff into Washington?
And Andrew,
who are stealing the vehicles and stuff. Do you think all these people are getting kickbacks or something to the crime gang?
250 years.
It's kind of weird, huh?
The greatness and then the hope and promise of the next 250.
Let's see what else they got to say here.
is going to be over our 250th birthday. Mr. President, your leadership, obviously, with FIFA leading the way, this is the largest sporting event.
I think that's as loud as I got on the volume.
Under the Trump administration, so very excited.
I just want to say one thing. Andrew Giuliani, so his father is Rudy, the greatest mayor in the history of New York, I think by far. He took a ravaged city, a city that was really under siege. Probably most people thought it was going to survive. He turned it around. He was a great, great mayor.
Yeah, they brought him in so that they can get the property prices back up in New York City.
All of the things that have come out over the last couple of months.
But you know why? You know why they got Mamdani coming in next? It's because even with all the crime and all the crap that's going on in New York City, they haven't gotten the property prices down yet. So Mamdani is supposed to be the one who will totally destroy it, and then they buy up all the properties again, just like they did in the 80s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, where they destroyed New York City back then. Then I'll bring in another Rudy Giuliani, he'll straighten it up, and their property values will skyrocket. It's all a effing game.
This is the national capital of the greatest nation in the world. And we had murder rates just a few weeks ago that rivaled some of the worst third world cities anywhere, even in very, very poor regions of the world. Why did we accept that? Why did we allow it to happen? We allowed it to happen because we had broken leadership in Washington, D.C., and unfortunately sitting behind the Resolute desk. What we have shown in just under 2 weeks of taking law enforcement seriously is that the American people can have their streets back if their leadership is willing to put in the time and the resources. Mr. President, you've shown in Washington, D.C. that we can have safe streets again. We've just got to have the political willpower to focus on the bad guys and
no,
give
don't give us
people back
safe
their
streets.
communities. We are focused on doing that thanks to the President's leadership.
Thank you. And that's a really very small percentage. It's 2%, 3%. But that 2% and 3%.
Mainstream media is just crying about it. How dare he?
Community.
How dare he give them safe
streets?
streets?
I notice a couple of the women in the back are shaking their head, yes, yes, yes. I won't report who you are because you'll end up losing your jobs, but it's true. It's amazing. And the police, and you look at the D.C. National Guard, I saw pictures of them last night getting off vans and all, and I saw some bad ones running, but they're not running so much anymore. They're not there. They're just not even. They're not even trying. You're totally safe. Now there'll be something happening sometime. I don't know. Maybe it won't be for a long time. But this was every night would get reports of people being mugged and kidnapped. There's one woman on television last night. She had a badly busted up nose, and she's well, I like our streets the way they used to be. And she thinks it's going to happen like by doing nothing. And they say, what happened to your nose? She got slugged by a guy walking down the street, slugged. Her nose will never be the same, I guarantee you, unless it takes a pretty good turn. She wasn't really for us. But she sort of said, well, maybe something has to happen. Before this happened to me, she got whacked. And
yeah, maybe it was her pimp. You don't know.
She almost became, she was a half a Trump fan. A woman that would have never been a Trump fan. But she was hit hard.
Yeah, DC, you don't know. You don't know. All the politicians are fucking freaking prostitutes and everything. So yeah.
At Kennedy Center, we're going to beautify the city.
So you don't know who that woman was and why she got smacked in the nose.
The biggest construction company in Chicago.
It's Washington. So what's likely?
Washington. And the head of Clark is great. He's all over the world, actually. But Washington, I would say, is their home. That's where they do the best work, the biggest work. And they've been doing a fantastic job. So you're going to have a fantastic, clean, beautiful place. It's going to be better than it ever was before. Literally better than it ever was before. We'll get it done very quickly. And I want to thank Clark because they're doing a lot of work in a lot of different locations. But they've been fantastic for getting us the right contractors and the people that can really do the job right. And Johnny, did you want to say something?
Yes, one more thing, because as you rightly say,
you tear down all the homeless camps and crime suddenly goes way down. Imagine that! Imagine that!
To come and enjoy and have fun, and that's why.
But all the
most iconic
all the people
in the world of sport, but
probably a lot of government people running the drugs into Washington D.C. are pissed. They're so pissed. And these powerful people probably
For the
are in
final.
control of our mainstream media, too, and they're pissed. Can you imagine that?
It's of course row 1,
Yeah, you
seed
get
1
rid
is
of all the
ticket
drug,
number 45,
all the drug
47.
dealing, and the
And it's for the
druggies.
final
You
in
take
New
them
York,
out of the
New Jersey.
damn city, and the mainstream media is pissed.
All the others,
Oh,
10th of
how
September,
dare you
start
destroy
getting
their
rid of it.
rights
That's
to
beautiful.
destroy the city?
6.5
We were
million
making
because
so much money.
fans will enjoy
You know,
it.
we got them all on
You're
disability, phony disability, and so taxpayer money
like to
is
say
going
something?
right
Mr.
into
President, millions of people will
our
come to this country,
pockets
and we'll make
for
sure they
selling the
get their travel
drugs.
documents, their
Oh,
visas, if
oh,
they want to
stop
come here and
it.
spend their money and enjoy this sporting event. It'll be the largest event in the world. And sir, you're reminding me of something that
Wow.
my dad used to say all the time when I was growing up. He would say, Christy, you kids need to look like you respect yourself before anybody's going to respect you. And in this country, when people look at our streets, when they look at our capital, you're bringing respect back to this city. And people will respect our country more because it's safe, it's clean, it's beautiful.
The Gay
and
World
what you're
Cup.
doing is transforming this
Does anybody
nation
give a
by
crap
making sure
about
that
the-
our laws are
the
upheld.
World
And
Cup?
Millions of people are going to come and be able to enjoy it next year, and I'm excited about
Soccer?
that. Thank you for doing
We call it
Well, our
soccer.
country
It's
is respected
football.
again.
Of course, that
And,
makes sense because
a
they
year
do
ago,
kick
we had
around
a
the
dead
ball with their
country. I'm
feet.
telling you, it was a
Not
dead
supposed
country.
to,
It was a country
unless
that
you're a
was
goalie, you're not
that had
supposed
lost
to touch
its
it
way.
with your hands.
It was
so
a country that was going to fail.
that makes more sense than
Look
American
even today
football.
where they say $4 trillion in reductions of deficits, and
Where
this was
99% of the
totally
time,
unexpected.
it's in your
I don't know
hands,
where
you
they've
know,
been
or in the air,
people that
going
do
in,
this stuff, but it's,
hopefully to be
it's
grabbed by
settled.
somebody
I wanted
else's
to thank
hands.
Christy for another reason. I said to her 2 weeks ago, I said, Christy, do me a favor.
It's very
I
rarely
built
football.
hundreds of miles
Yeah.
of wall. I built the same wall that the Border Patrol asked me to
FIFA
build.
World Cup.
It wasn't my first choice. I wanted to do concrete
lame
plank
and
and
gay.
everything nice, but you wouldn't have been able to see through it. So I had Border Patrol in, and they tested everything else. And we gave them steel wall, high-grade steel, very hard to cut. And we gave inside that is 9,000-pound concrete, which is a very tough concrete. Inside that is rebar, a big fat piece of rebar. So you have all different materials that are very hard to cut, and you need different instruments to cut each one. And I said, Christy, we got to get a coat of paint on it. And I didn't know she was listening.
This is so important.
But I said, we got to get a coat of paint, and it should be black, because black makes the steel very hot. It's untouchable. You could fry an egg on it. And if you
Except
got a
when you're
good
painting,
black,
apparently.
flat
They're
paint, it would
painting
look
it
beautiful.
in the middle of
It will
summer,
preserve it from
black
rust.
paint, and they're
that
not
was it.
burning,
And I
they're
gave it to
catching
her
fire.
along with 30 other things, and she's done such a good job on the border with
I'm
Tom
fine with
Holman
them
in
painting
the
it
group.
black. I don't give a
Tom
crap.
Holman's
But
a fantastic guy.
apparently,
the job he does, and the
this
way they
theory
work together.
about it not being too
I turned
hot,
on last
too hot
night
to
and I
touch,
see
doesn't
Christy's
work when you're
painting the
painting
wall.
in the
And it
middle
looks
of the day.
beautiful, by the
It's
way.
not
We
like
got
they're
the
waiting
one
till
on
night
It's hot.
It's hot.
to paint.
Yes.
It's hot. If it's white, it's not hot. If it's black, it's going to be very hard to climb that sucker. It's not going to be easy. But it's black.
Yeah, they
and a
can't wear
high-quality
gloves
black,
or
you know,
anything.
It will look good.
Yeah, we got
Is that going to be a two-coat
It's just
job
gonna
or
burn your
one coat?
hands. You can't have a,
One
let's say, a
coat.
pair of
We use the paint you
leather
told me to buy.
gloves.
Yep. The two-coat
Yeah.
will take place in 3
Oh, yeah.
years from now. We'll do
No,
the second
the
coat.
Mexicans aren't
But it
that
looks
smart.
beautiful.
No.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
I didn't
no,
even
no,
listen,
no.
because we talked about
Yeah,
seven
think it
different
over
subjects.
anything you do.
And all of a sudden,
Don't
I see
you
her
gotta
out
have
there
the
painting
border
with a
patrol?
lot of
That's all
pictures
it
and everything
is.
else, but it was
Yeah,
a
you
beautiful
gotta have the
thing
border
to see.
patrol, and you gotta
Would
hope
you
that the
like to
border
say
patrol
something?
isn't
You've been
being
such a big
paid
part
off.
of this. Please.
Well, Mr. President, we're delighted
Which
to
I'm
be
sure
here
for
today.
most of
This
its
announcement, but
history
we're also
has
looking forward to having you at the final.
Oh, yes.
On July
Oh, yes.
19th
No, we'll be
in New
there.
York, New Jersey.
We're going to be there. A lot of people are going to be there.
Oh no, they can't fit. No, they
I'd
can
like
never
to
cut
thank you
steel.
all.
Then
Do
you
you have
see,
any
then you
questions
see a
on
Mexican
the
with on the other side with a gas generator and a grinder and it's cutting it on the way.
I might play. I mean, I see the money that these soccer
or they got,
you know,
they got
we call it
the
soccer, but I see the money that these soccer
big
players
steel
make.
lever.
I may try and play. I'm a very
Like,
good athlete.
and
My
3 or
son-
4 of them.
My son is a very good
Yeah,
athlete.
no.
And,
They
he's a
could
good
never
soccer
figure
player.
that
He's
out.
on the tall
No.
side for soccer.
We have no
6'9".
history of them doing that.
It's on the tall side. It's on the tall side, but he's good. But no,
Oh,
I may put on shorts. I look extremely good in shorts and join the play. You know, no, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be good.
Many foreigners who want
No, I'm
to
fine.
come
I'm fine with
to
the
to
wall.
attend
Let's
the,
have fun,
event,
right? Yeah,
are
whatever.
concerned about
So-
the visa situation. Can you reassure them?
Yeah, they're going to have a very easy time getting in. Certain countries are going to be very, very easy, and other countries are going to be obviously a little bit more difficult. Would you like to explain that, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a process set up that we'll be implementing on on getting visas approved. Everybody will be thoroughly vetted, but they'll be welcome to this country. It'll happen quickly, and we're excited for them to come. So I would hope that around the world, people know that the United States is excited to bring their family here to enjoy this event.
America welcomes the world.
Yes.
And
Oh yeah, I wonder how many will overstay their visas, huh?
And I just sent a picture from somebody that wants to be there very badly. He's been very respectful of me and of our country, but not so respectful of others. But he'll, I'm going to sign this for him, but I was sent one, and I thought you'd all like to see it. That's a man named Vladimir Putin, who I believe will be coming, depending on what happens. He may be coming, and he may not, depending on what happens. We have a lot of things happening over the next couple of weeks. But I thought it was a nice picture of him. Okay of me, but nice of him. So that was very nice that it was sent to me. Okay?
Mr. President, on
yes.
that subject, have you talked to Vladimir Putin about the fact that yesterday a big U.S. factory was hit in a Russian airstrike in Ukraine? What's your reaction to
I
that?
told him I'm not happy about it. And I'm not happy about anything having to do with that war. I settled 7 wars, and actually, if you think about pre-wars, add 3 more, so it would be 10. I thought this would be in the middle of the pack in terms of difficulty. No, I'm not happy about anything about that war. Nothing. Not happy at all.
And
See what happens.
if you knew how much they hate each
Over the
other,
next 2 weeks,
you'd probably
we'll find
understand it
out
a little
which
more.
way it's going to go.
Yeah.
And I better be
I
very
don't know.
happy.
I think if Europe
Prime Minister Carney of
really
Canada
gave a
yesterday
damn,
morning,
they wouldn't have given
actually Canada
all
is
the
taking
all
away
those
some
fighting
retaliatory
age
tariffs.
Ukrainian
Moving his
males
tariffs,
sanctuary in
moving
the
his
country.
retaliatory
It's
tariffs,
really
which I thought was
stupid,
nice.
right?
And we're going to have another call soon. Yeah, we had a very good call.
You're getting closer towards an
Well, I
agreement
like
on
them.
trade?
I like them. You know, look, I'm fighting for the United States. Canada and Mexico have taken a lot of our business over the years, over 25, 30 years, especially during the Biden years. They took a lot of our business, and it's basically all coming back into the United States now. Well, hot as a pistol, and it's coming back in. Because of tariffs and the incentives we give, it's coming back. And it's impossible, I think, for another country to stop it. And we are working on something. We want to be very good to Canada. I like
Screw
Carney a
Canada.
lot. I think he's a good person. And we had a very good talk yesterday, so I think it'll be good.
Yeah, and Trump really doesn't like Pollyanna. He likes Carney because it's working towards Trump's aim to break up Canada. It's so obvious, isn't it?
Well, I haven't spoken
So
to
yeah,
Pam
yeah,
in the group
he
yet,
loves
but,
Carney.
I will be.
He keeps saying that.
I saw that just like everybody else. I try and stay out of that stuff. I'm allowed to be, and I'm chief law enforcement officer, believe it or not. You know, I don't like to go around saying that, but I am. That's the position. But I purposely don't want to really get involved in it. I'm not a fan of John Bolton. I thought he was a sleazebag, actually. And he suffers major Trump derangement syndrome, but so do a lot of people, and they're not being affected by anything we do. I don't know anything about it. I just saw that. I'll find out about it. But if you believe the news, which I do, I guess his house was raided today. But my house was raided also, called Mar-a-Lago. They went through everything they could, including my young son's room and my wife's area. They went through her drawers, as the expression goes. They went through everything you can imagine. And when she came back, she said, she's very neat, you know, she's meticulous. And she looked and she said, whoa, this wasn't the way that she had it. So, you know, so I know the feeling. It's not a good feeling. Thank you.
Mr. President, how long will you give?
I bet he's loving
A
it.
couple of weeks,
That was,
we're going to figure it out. We'll find.
if you don't think Trump could be diplomatic, that was
Look, it
very,
takes two to
very
tango, you
diplomatic,
understand.
wasn't it?
I wanted to have a meeting with
Because,
those two.
He
I could have been at the
definitely,
meeting, but a lot of people think that
he definitely hates Bolton's
nothing's going
guts.
to come out of that meeting. You have to be there.
Especially
Maybe that's
after
true,
he
maybe
fired
it's
him,
not.
and then
But we're
Bolton
going to
goes
see. In the
ahead and
meantime,
writes a
people
book,
continue to die.
a real nasty
But I
book
saw
about him afterwards. So
7 of them where they were in wars for 31, 35, and 37 years. We had 3 of them that were for more than 30 years, Johnny, and I got them solved. And we solved one that could have been a nuclear war with India and Pakistan. That was getting ready to be a nuclear war. I solved them all. And this one, I thought we would have had it done by now, but it's It's more different. There's a lot of anger, a lot of hatred. There's a tremendous amount of hatred there.
Yeah, it doesn't make the
But we'll
news,
see
but
what happens. I
that,
think
the
in 2 weeks we'll
India-Pakistan
know
war,
which
just
way
when the war ended,
I'm going.
Pakistan
Because
struck
I'm going to go one way or the other.
major
And
storage
I'll learn which way
facilities.
I'm going.
It did a real job on them,
One on
apparently,
FIFA, the other
of
one on
nuclear
PC.
weapons for Pakistan.
Can you talk about the
And it
economic
left the
impact
news, but
that
they were
FIFA
bringing
will have
in
these cities, and what's your message to the
plane
mayors
loads of
to get their
boron,
cities prepared,
apparently
not
from,
only
I
the
think,
beautification
Russia,
process, but also the
and,
safety aspect?
Well,
even
Los
asking
Angeles
for
is an example.
American
You know, it's
assistance
poorly
for
run. We have a mayor there that
radiation
can't even
testing
get
and
permits
everything.
to the people that
So
lost their
I
houses.
don't know how nuclear
Lee Zeldin got
that
every
war could
permit.
have
The hardest
become,
permit is the
but-
federal permit.
but yeah.
Within 20 days, every single permit was there for the people to build their houses. But people are writing us and they're saying they won't give us. The mayor is incompetent. The governor's incompetent. You know, Gavin. I know Gavin very well. He's an incompetent guy with a good line of bullshit, and he doesn't
Love
get the
it.
job
Gotta
done.
love it.
And frankly, those people want to build their houses. It's terrible. They could have been built. Some of them could have been built already. But think of it, the federal government that has the most complex part, and it's the most complex environmental thing to do. We got it, everybody had it within 30 days. And they're not even close to getting their permits. And now they're talking about taking some of those sites and building low-income housing on them. These are high-end neighborhoods. And I'm all for low-income housing. I built a lot of low-income housing. I know all about 236. I know every program that there is in the government. I used every one of them. I know more about low-income housing than probably almost anybody. And it's great. It's fine. It's wonderful. But you don't build it in Pacific Palisades. You don't build it there, and you don't build it in the other areas that burn down. So they're talking about putting up low-income housing. And you talk about riots. They're going to have riots if that happens because you're taking the people's property away. They want to build their houses, and they're unable to get permits from the mayor and from the governor. And that's a terrible thing. But, and let me tell you, if I didn't send in the troops in Los Angeles, Johnny wouldn't be in Los Angeles. You wouldn't be having your World Cup there.
No, interesting.
I
I read the other day.
And even the
They
police
said that a
commissioner,
number of like those
the
Malibu
sheriff and the
houses, you
police
know,
they all
that
said
burnt
the same
down,
thing. They said,
you know, right on the ocean.
we could have
They used to
never
be
handled
super
what was
expensive
happening. You
houses.
saw that you
And
were
a
there.
number of people
He said
sold
we could have
out
never handled
to
what was happening. And then you
Chinese,
hear Gavin Newsom, after it's
the
all
Chinese
quelled,
realtor company.
you Newsom get up and said, we could have
that's
done
really
this for ourselves
suspicious,
now,
isn't
but they
it?
couldn't have. And if they could have, I wouldn't have taken the chance either.
And
Okay, the second
the
question
Chinese
is on
developer
fire prevention.
has
Would you
already
be
started
open
buying up
to
houses out
expanding the
there
national
because
conciliatory
they're
to
making
apply
sure
to
that the
DC
people
like it
that
does
own
in
those
other
properties
states like
can't
Texas?
rebuild.
Yeah. Well, they have it in some states, and they feel
So they're getting better money than
as
if,
you
I
know,
guess,
I'm in favor
the
of
state
it. People have
went
to
ahead
protect
and
themselves.
took
I'm a
the
Second
property
Amendment
under
person.
Under
Very
what's
simply.
that?
People
I
have to be
forget.
able to
Eminent
protect
domain.
themselves.
Yeah,
Especially
eminent
like in
domain.
Washington, you walk
So,
down the street, a guy comes
which is
up
probably
and
the next
slugs
thing
you, and he's got
that they'll do for
got
the
a
rest of the
pistol in his
property.
hand.
So
You could be
they're
tough,
getting
you
better
could be in
better
great shape,
prices.
you could be
They
a
want to
powerful
rebuild, but they
person,
can't. So they're
or you
selling.
could be
So
a guy
they're
that
selling
weighs
out to
100
the
pounds with
Chinese
a gun in your
property
hand.
developers.
And I'll bet on the guy with the gun 100% of the time, right? And so you need protection. So I'm a Second Amendment person all the way. Yeah, please.
President Trump, you said this morning that you were working with Congress to get $2 billion to help clean up DC. Have you had any conversations with Mike Johnson and John Thune about where they're going to get that money from?
Which money?
You said this morning that you're going to get $2 billion from Congress to help clean up DC.
Yeah, I've spoken to Mike Johnson. I've spoken to John Thune, the Senate, the House, and I think it's going to be very easy to get. It's going to be not a lot of money. I wouldn't even know where to spend the number that you mentioned, but it's going to be money to beautify the city. Yeah, they're ready. Everybody wants to save DC.
Yeah.
In one way, it's the easiest. The violence was more than any other city in the country, actually, by far. It may have been more than any other city in the world, if you could think. You know, we looked at some of the worst cities in the world, it was worse. And that's why it angers me to see the mayor saying about how they have it on the slide. Not on the slide, it was worse than ever. Yeah, we have no problem getting that money. That money will come out of Congress. I think it'll be even bipartisan.
And is the plan
I mean, I would imagine Democrats would vote for that one.
is the plan to get it before the September 30 spending deadline on the Hill?
Well, I don't know if there is a deadline, because if I declare a national emergency, which this was, that ends the deadline. So, I mean, I keep seeing about a 30-day deadline, of which we have 22 days left or something. But if I think we're in great shape here, that's one thing. But if I don't, I'm going to just say it's a national emergency. And if I have a national emergency, I can keep the troops there as long as I want. If people are not going to want to have the troops in 30 days, you know, it's one thing to get them out. It's another thing to keep them out for a long period of time. You've got to train people. You can't do this. You can't bop people over the head. And a lot of those people are in courts right now, going to court. They're going to go to jail for a long time. So that's going to take more than 30 days.
Not DC courts.
But if I have to, I'll declare a national emergency. Which I
Not
don't think
DC
I'll
courts.
do.
I bet
Yeah.
all these people you arrested are going to let out.
Said in 2 weeks you'll know whether you go.
Yeah, I think I'll know. I think I'll know
Because they're also getting
the
kickbacks
attitude
from all the
of
drug
Russia
dealers
frankly,
and everything
Ukraine. It
else.
takes two.
What are the 2 ways you can go at the end of 2 weeks?
All the crime got
We're
criminal
going to make a
gang.
decision as to what we do.
Or
And it's going to be a very important decision. And that's whether or not it's massive sanctions or massive tariffs or both. Or do we do nothing and say it's your fight? Look, I would have never been in this war if I were president. You wouldn't have had this war. It was never going to happen. This was caused by stupid people that fought. And you know, people say, well, how do we know? Because for 4 years, it was never even a subject. And Vladimir knew, and you see his picture right here. It was nice that he sent, but Vladimir knew very strongly we wouldn't have stood for it. It wouldn't have happened. 100% wouldn't have happened, but it did happen. And now they're losing from 5 to 7 young kids. Think of it, you're a parent and your son is leaving. He's Russian or he's Ukrainian. And he's leaving and they're waving goodbye. Nice, beautiful kid. Nice crew cut, all set. He wants to be a soldier. And goes there, first week he has his head blown off. And he's no different than you people, me. And it doesn't matter where. I mean, I solved a problem in the Congo that was vicious. Rwanda and the Congo, the Republic of the Congo. And they were fighting for 31 years, and it was machetes. People were getting their heads chopped off. That was going on for 31 years. I got it solved. You saw it. They came to the White House, we signed an agreement. It was amazing. People can't believe we got it done. I love to stop killing. I really do. People thought it would be just the opposite. Hillary Clinton said, oh, he'll get us into a war. No, I'm getting everybody else out of wars.
Are you saying there's a real possibility then that you do nothing if Putin doesn't come to the table for a ceasefire?
I'll see whose fault it is. If there are reasons why, I'll understand that. I know exactly what I'm doing. We're going to see whether or not they have a meeting. That'll be interesting to see. And if they don't, why didn't they have a meeting? Because I told them to have a meeting. But I'll know in 2 weeks what I'm going to do. I'm pretty good ideas.
Your Justice Department is also sending some of the Epstein files over to the House Oversight Committee today. Are you in support of them releasing all of them?
I'm in support of keeping it open.
If they wanted to
innocent
release...
people shouldn't be hurt, but I'm in support of keeping it totally open. I couldn't care less. You got a lot of people that it could be mentioned in those files that don't deserve to be. You know, people, because he knew everybody in Palm Beach. I don't know anything about that, but I have said to Pam and everybody else, give them everything you can give them, because it's a Democrat hoax. It's just a hoax. The whole Epstein thing is a Democrat hoax. So we had the greatest 6 months, 7 months in the history of the presidency, and the Democrats don't know what to do.
He doesn't
so
word
they
that
keep
very
bringing up
well,
that
does he?
stuff.
Doesn't word
But
that
it
at
affected
all
them.
very well.
Bill Clinton was on his plane and went to the island
We
supposedly
can't
28
uncover the
times.
Mossad, that's
I don't
for
want
sure.
to bring that up.
We can't do anything that will hurt Israel.
Larry, whatever his name is, Summers, the head of Harvard, who was Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. Nobody ever talks about that. I mean, but I don't want to hurt Larry Summers, but he was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein. No, this is a Democratic hoax to try and get the significance of what we've done over the past 7 months. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. They say it's #1 in history. What we've done, including stopping 7 wars. I mean, just include that. And now you look.
But don't hurt Israel.
Today, it's way up to start off with.
It showed that Epstein was
market
all
was
about the
gonna crash.
Mossad.
If Joe Biden or Kamala
All
were
about
president,
that
this
blackmail.
market we would have had a crash like in
Blackmail
1929.
rules
You're not
this
gonna have
country,
that.
and it's
only a
Israeli
question of how high is it
blackmail.
going to
No,
go. You know, I had the strongest economy in the history of our country.
We won't
And
go
despite
to
COVID,
the root
we have the
of so many of these
strongest
problems.
economy in
Right
the
there,
history
yeah.
of our country, and we're going to blow it away this time. I was always good at making a lot of money, and whether it was for myself or whether it was, I like doing it this way better. I mean, I like making it for the country. Our country's been ripped off by friend and foe, nations all over the world ripped off, and the friends have been much worse than the foes for the most part. And They're not ripping us off. We just signed a deal with the European Union. They're paying us essentially $950 billion, like a signing fee. They're going to buy $750 billion worth of energy. They weren't buying much of our energy there. And they're very smart in doing that. And as you know, Ursula was here a couple of days ago having to do with the people, the leaders that we had a great, people said they've never seen anything like it. Well, we had the leaders of Europe right here in the Oval Office. And she's so happy that she has an agreement. But people aren't ripping us anymore. We're run by, this country is run by smart people now.
Mr. President, in Israel...
Two questions. One is about Intel. There have been reports that you're considering taking a stake in Intel. Can you tell us
About the 10%?
About the 10%.
Yeah, I met a man, he was a very nice man, and I called for his removal because I saw something by a man named Tom Cotton, a senator from Arkansas, who's a great guy, friend of mine, supporter of mine, big supporter, I'm a supporter of his too. And he wrote a pretty nasty story about the head of Intel. And I said, well, if that's right, he should resign. And he came in, he saw me, we talked for a while. I liked him a lot, I thought he was very good. I thought he was somewhat a victim, but you know, nobody's a total victim, I guess. And I said, you know what? I think the United States should be given 10% of Intel. And he said, I would consider that. I said, well, I'd like you to do that because Intel has been left behind, as you know, compared to Jensen and some of our friends, NVIDIA, some of the people and the people in, because Intel should have never been. Intel was the biggest, most powerful chip company in the world. And then they started leaving. And they started going to foreign countries, in particular Taiwan. And if we had a president who would have said, okay, you can go to Taiwan, but we're going to put a 100% tariff, or 200, or 300, or 500%
10%
tariff.
to buy up a
Anybody
stake
that sells
in
into the
Intel, how
United
does
States
that
has to pay.
improve
They wouldn't have left.
their
They
bad
wouldn't have left.
engineering
We
and
wouldn't
bad
have.
choices
So in
they
the
keep
meantime, we had
making?
people that were, in some cases, good politicians that weren't good on trade. I loved that man, but he was not good on trade.
Isn't that a step to
I totally
nationalizing the
disagree. He
damn
allowed
company and,
the car industry to be
then
taken
have
out of this
complete
country. We lost
idiots?
50% of our car industry. But that's all coming back.
You
It's
know,
all
the
coming
scum
back.
that
But if
run our
somebody would've
country
said
running
that
the
with
company,
Intel,
that'll be a
would
disaster.
A giant right now. Now with that, they've had some bad management over the years, and they got lost.
Very bad
And I
management.
said, I think you should pay us 10% of your company. And they said, yes. That's about $10 billion. I don't get it. This comes to the United States of America. And I said, I think it would be good having the United States as your partner. He agreed. And they've agreed to do it. And I think it's a great deal for them. And I think it's a great deal. He walked in wanting to keep his job, and he ended up giving us $10 billion for the United States. So we picked up $10 billion. And we do a lot of deals like that.
give me a
I'll do
moment.
more of them. If somebody has, like we have restrictive covenants with Jensen. We have, it's NVIDIA. And to unrestrict the covenant, nothing to do with losing our powers or military or anything, because that I wouldn't do. But there are things you can do that don't affect us, that actually help us. And if we're going to give somebody a free out, a restricted covenant, we have a strong restrictive covenant on certain industries. And I will absolutely give somebody a opening to do a lot of business, which is good for us, as long as it doesn't hurt us in a security or military way.
Okay, let's see what's going on.
And if I do that, I think the country should be paid, because anybody else, I have it in real estate, where I'll have a deal with somebody and I'll have them restrictive covenant. Then they'll come back and they'll say, I'd love to be able to build over here, but I'm not allowed to because you have me covered, you have me restricted. I say, I'll let you build over there, but pay me a lot of money. No different. But the country never did it because the country was run by foolish people.
Again, how does this solve Intel's problems?
Are you making, have there been concrete steps that the administration is taking
No,
to do that?
I
Or what
haven't
are other
spoken.
cities as
I
well?
haven't spoken to the man. He's grossly incompetent. I haven't spoken to the man. No, when we're ready, we'll go in and we'll straighten out Chicago, just like we did
Chicago.
DC. Chicago is very dangerous, great place. I built great stuff there. I have the most beautiful building in Chicago, I think. But I hate to see what's happened to Chicago. Chicago was our greatest city, actually. Bob Tisch, a great friend of mine, passed away. He used to own the Giants and very successful Lowe's. He said Chicago, I think they had their main office in Chicago. He said Chicago and San Francisco are the two greatest cities in the world. now you look at what the Democrats have done to San Francisco. They've destroyed it. I own a big chunk of the Bank of America building in San Francisco. And, you know, it's just different. We can clean that up too. We'll clean that one up too. Now, if everything works out, and we've already had calls from other cities, quiet calls from Democrats, we'd love you to come here, because they've lost control of their cities. I'm not going to say because I don't want them to lose their elections. But we've had calls from Democrats and calls from people generally. We'd love you to come here, because we'll straighten out the problem.
In Israel, the families of hostages in Israel, the families of hostages are opposed to the reoccupying of Gaza. Why is the U.S. still
Well, not
supporting
all of them. And you have to understand, I'm the one that got all of the hostages out. You got a lot of people out. If it wasn't for me, they wouldn't be out. I worked with Bibi and I worked with Steve Witkoff. But if it wasn't for me, you would have all these hostages would most likely be dead right now, every one of them. So they all come up here. They come in groups of 10, 12, 13, and many of them, and I've gotten to know a lot of them. They're great people. What they had to go through is incredible. But so now they have 20, but the 20 is actually probably not 20 because a couple maybe aren't around any longer. It's a terrible thing.
Israel.
No, I don't like anymore. I said, you know, when you get down to 20, they're not going to make deals anymore. And they didn't. And then I put out a statement, as you know, that was a tough statement, go in and get them. And they said, we'll give you 10, we'll give you 10. I don't know what Israel's doing, but they were willing now immediately to give us another 10. The situation has to end. It's extortion and it has to end. And we'll see what happens. I actually think they're safer in many ways if you went in and you really went in fast and you did it. And people can't forget October 7th, remember that. I'm friendly with all groups. I won the Arab vote in Michigan. I did so great with the Arab vote, remember? I started off at 0, I ended up winning. I wouldn't say the candidate was the greatest, but I would have won against anybody. They're great people. But we have to do things properly. And,
President of Israel.
You know, I'm very proud to
Let
say
the Israelis take care of their crap. It's a
hundreds
fabulously
of people that are
wealthy
living now
country.
because of me. And now we have that final little group of people. And Hamas knows that if they give them, that's probably the end of their lives. So it's not easy to get. And I know if you're a parent, you just don't care. You want, I want my baby back. They want their babies back. They want their kids back. And I understand it. But I got them out and did a good job. And we're doing everything we can to get the hostages out. Thank you all very much. Yes?
We got so much more to worry about than Israel.
Well, we call him too late for a reason. He should have cut him a year ago. He's too late. You know, we have a stock market that's up 1,000 points today. I better be careful because I go out there and I'll see it's down 1,000, right? But it's up 1,000 points when I came in here. We have a country that the market's the hottest it's ever been. The country's better than it's ever been. We have a military that I rebuilt largely in my first term. We had a great, successful first term, but this is going to be even better. But we rebuilt it. We gave a lot of it away to Afghanistan, but relatively small compared to the overall. But I think it was the most embarrassing day and period in the history of our country that they allowed those 13 wonderful people, but it's really hundreds of people were killed. And they don't talk about the 48 that were so severely wounded with no legs, no arms, nobody ever mentions them except me. But that was the worst day, the most, it just showed how incompetent. Frankly, if that didn't happen, I really believe that you might not have had the problem with Russia. I think Putin was sitting there watching these stupid people running our country and said, this is a time to invade. It's, you know, this is a time. And then Biden made the statement, well, he can do a small incursion. When he said that, it was off to the races, right? When he said he can do a small incursion, remember that? I was surprised he knew the word incursion. I didn't think he had that good of a vocabulary. I want to thank everybody. It's very important to me and to everybody up in the World Cup.
He did take over,
and
try to take over the whole
so
country.
Incredible. I mean, he's really a great leader.
They just drove,
I
first drove on
Johnny,
Kiev.
Phone. You don't have
Kyiv,
to come. No,
right?
I'll
It's
come,
Kyiv
I'll
now.
come. And he flew all night
Whatever.
long to be here and listen to this about how great we're doing in D.C. But he's a fantastic leader, and this will be your most successful World Cup ever. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you so much. America will win. Yeah, can he win it, Mr. President?
I don't know. That's I watch some of those teams go around. They go down that field. I don't know. But let me ask you: what chance does America have of winning?
Well, the home team always has a good chance to win. It depends
See,
how
he's
it
a good
starts.
diplomat.
No, but it has some good
we have a
players.
shot.
Of course, you have a chance.
Will Bear be going to any of the games, Mr. President?
I'd love to have him. He'd love to. He's very tall. Maybe we could make him a goalie.
Maybe you watch a bunch of 0-0 ties.
The goalies, well, he'd
So fun. Oh yeah.
And his head, so we'll put him on the American
Sports ball.
No, but do the Americans
It's so
have
lame.
a chance of,
Sports ball.
like, getting into the quarterfinals?
Sports ball. Blah, 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 blah. Look at him run around. Blah, blah, blah. Rah, rah, rah. Oh, what happens to the sport team means so much.
You know, it's
No, it
amazing.
doesn't.
The talent is really great when you watch these things. I went to the game.
Oh, I hate
2
sports
weeks ago,
ball.
and it was a big upset. But you look at these
All
people,
types.
the
It's
way
so
they
lame.
pass it. It's amazing, really amazing. It's a great art, right? It's a great talent.
It is incredible.
You know the expression?
Got the sports ball coming to the U.S. Whoopee, whoopee. A sport we don't give a damn about.
That's an interesting proposal.
Well, say,
He's the boss. Well,
hopefully somebody will
it's
make
gonna be
money.
good. And I think the American
Probably
team's
have
gonna
some
do
kind
well.
of
You know,
crap
it's a
going
great
on in
Good luck,
protests
everybody. Thank you very much.
being held in L.A. just because of that.
Keep a lot of those.
So-
Thank you.
No, I just got
Keep
one.
moving. Thank you. Thank you guys. We're done.
Yeah, if you're watching, what do you think about the FIFA Cup? Do you care?
Thank you very much, everybody.
You guys keep moving.
Thank you. Andre, this way. Everyone forward this way.
Thank you, everybody. Keep moving.
Thank you.
You know, it's a money-making opportunity, so I imagine that's good for somebody. But as far as, let's see, let's get rid of that. As far as sports ball, I don't know. Screw that crap. And, you know, like I said, another 0-0 tie. Ooh, we tied. Ooh, we go into the next round. Because half the teams didn't score crap, or they both scored just one goal for the whole game. Oh, boy. And they tell us, if we're just sophisticated enough, stupid Americans, if we were just sophisticated enough, we could appreciate a bunch of little, I don't know, pansy asses running around the field. On the grass field, kicking that damn ball with that enormous goal there that they have. Oh yeah, if we just understood why the whole game they can't score a damn goal. And then, oh, you hurt me. I'm gonna flounder around on the ground. Oh. And then they'll hand out a little gay card to the guy who committed the foul. And then amazingly, here's the person who's so hurt, dying on the ground, just get up and continue playing. Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, sure, okay. I know most of the world gives a damn, right? Most of the world cares about that stuff. But I don't know. So the other thing was, of course, was today was John Bolton getting his house. I don't know about you, but I can't stand that son of a bitch. Let's see. Let me see if I can find something. So the FBI did a raid on John Bolton's residence. Let's see. Bolton. Let's see what I find here. Home search. That was 5 hours ago. News crap. Let's see. Can I just see? I'm trying to see if I can find just some footage. Yeah, wow, damn, everybody's doing that crap is on this. Ugh. Have to look around, but what I'd like to find is just let me put down live. Maybe I can find some of the live coverage without having to put on like all that crap with MSNBC and their bullshit talk. So, let's see here. 1 second. Give me a second here. Okay, just had to check on something. I'm so clueless when it comes to streaming. So, I realized about 20 minutes in that I didn't have my headphones on. So, I'm not sure if my beginning of my stream was all echoey and everything. You know, where you have like a loop. But maybe I'll figure it out someday. But I'm just a critter. Don't give me a hard time. I'm just a critter. I'm streaming. Isn't that amazing enough? It's all blah blah blah. Let's see. Let me try a live FBI raid. I mean, it's not like it was exciting or anything. It's just video of them going in and out of his house. Let's see. All right. If not, move on to something else. Okay. Okay, this might be. Let's see. Maybe I'll just use a little bit of that. So let's see if I can find anything but CNN, anything but those pricks. MSNBC. Okay. Let's see. I'll find something. Fox, I don't want. Oh, damn. You know, to show something live, you often have to watch those sources, but if I can avoid it, let's see. They have somebody here. Let me go back to that. I don't know who these people are. Let's see here. Streamed 4 hours ago. This is somebody called the Bulwark. I could try that. Yeah. It's not like it matters if my stream gets taken down or something, because what the hell? Let's see. Let me check this one here. Let me look through it here. Do they show any pictures? No. They're just talking to themselves. That ain't any better. Okay. Then... Damn. How about Valuetainment? What do they got? Let me check these guys. Let's put a little clip and just show the raid going on. Let me see if I get it. No, these guys are just...
I want to go to the John Bolton store.
Nah, let me cut that out. They ain't showing nothing. But basically what happened was the... well, it's got to be almost 7 hours now, but for like 5 hours, the FBI, they had a warrant, obviously, and they went in onto Bolton's house, and they had a whole bunch of cars. I don't know. At one time, it seemed like there was like 8 vehicles. Just looked like regular cars, you know, but FBI agents, and they were going in and out of Bolton's residence, you know, bringing boxes in, because my understanding is they bring in the boxes and they'll like take out pictures of what they're putting into boxes, you know, cardboard boxes. Then they'll seal it up, right? Mark it and note it and then bring it out. So they bring in the boxes, and then towards the end they start taking the boxes out of what the, you know, of the stuff that they found that they think is of value. Now the question is, the theories on why, and it looks like one of the theories, and that might be it, is Bolton wrote that book that was critical of Trump, and they're saying that the book itself maybe, and also stuff that he did afterwards, that he had classified information and documents and stuff. So maybe they're looking into that, because I think they're going after all the bastards after what they did to Trump, and where Trump was the president and had the power to declassify stuff. So that whole Mar-a-Lago BS was just a bunch of crap, right? You know, because he had the power. That's why it never technically ever went anywhere, right? You know, it was all to embarrass Trump and everything. But he had the power. He could take those documents as the president. Now, Biden, remember they went in and got Joe Biden's permission in his I think a Maryland home. Remember that? So with Joe Biden, he had those documents from when he was vice president. And the vice president doesn't have that power. But notice they excused him. The FBI even at one point said he's too incompetent, too senile. Before the Democrats had already abandoned him. Yeah. So isn't that kind of funny? It's funny how this crap works. But Biden could still be. I don't know what the what do you call that? You only have so many years to go after, and that's all bullshit to protect themselves. That they have those statutes of limitation. Yeah, statutes of limitation. So I don't know what the statute of limitation is on as the vice president who doesn't have authority to declassify crap, to take stuff into his home, but I bet they still can go. I bet they can go after him then. They can't go after him for being as the president, but they can go after him for being the vice president and doing that stuff. So we'll see. We'll see. It's all a mystery. So it's probably, if I assume, and again, I'm just a stupid critter, a stupid trash panda, right? So, but my beliefs, my opinions are just as stupid as anybody else's, right? So I'm thinking, like with somebody with Bolton, you know he's a bitch. He's a total bitch, right? You know the guy's a bitch, so they're gonna lean on him, and that bitch will give up other people and some of the major players. So they're gonna find out what he was doing, and they've already got, you know, I can't believe that any of them would be stupid enough to even have that stuff once Trump got into power, you know, got elected, that they would even keep that stuff. So if they're smart, they wouldn't have anything. But if they're not, and these guys aren't all that bright, then if they found stuff, then they do have, they could take criminal action against him. And then they're probably trying to work up maybe something like definitely conspiracy, right? They're going to have a lot of conspiracy trials, it kind of looks like. And they're going to roll up Bolton as the bitch he is. And trust me, that bitch will cry. The idea that to be in prison is not going to be nice for him. So I imagine they're going to try to roll him up. But it all depends. They got to find something, right? There's got to, you know, they obviously, with Trump, they didn't have probable cause, and they were able to get D.C. Judges to go along with the Biden crap without any cause, damn well knowing that the president could declassify anything that he takes that was classified. I mean, we're talking the top secret. He could do that if he wanted. But apparently all the stuff they were after was the stuff that implicated them. The Biden administration, all the way down to Obama. That's a lot of stuff that they took. Yeah, that Trump took to try to protect it. But, yeah. So they were able to get a D.C. judge. Well, who knows? Maybe it isn't D. Well, I imagine it had to be if it's in a Virginia. They had to get, you know, some federal judge in this area to go after it. And I can't imagine they were too keen on it. And I can't imagine that they weren't tipped off, that somebody like a Bolton wasn't tipped off. But I don't know. So it's kind of interesting. I'll be interested to see what happens. You know, to see what happens, if anything ever happens with these people. But, yeah. So let me see if I can see anything else here. Let's talk about FBI or John Bolton. I put Joe Bolton. No wonder. John Bolton. No wonder. I'm just a stupid critter. I can't help. John Bolton FBI raid. Let's do that. FBI raid. All right. Oh, I put Joe Bolton. No wonder I didn't find Oh, Live Now, Fox News. See it now. Can I get something that's not them? Okay, 2 hours ago. Okay. Let's look at this one here. Yeah, this is like a real quick one. Some local thing. Let me see if it comes up for me. Okay, all right. I'm not very good at this, you know. Let's see. I got that. Where is that? Okay, let me give it a minute. Let's see, does that pop up? I'm trying to do a screen capture. Figure out how to do this stuff. Okay, I got this. Oh, yeah, I think if I go from here and back to there. I'm working in Streamlabs. Can you imagine that? No, I don't see. Oh, okay, I got some other screens down here. Let's see. That was that one. Okay, all right. That's showing that one. Okay, let me get full screen. So, yeah. So this was the, what was the raid? Same with the boxes. Whoops, I screwed up. Let me go back. Just not good. Let's go back here. The mustachioed one, John Bolton. His mustache was twitching, I bet. See, it's just twitching. Watch that mustache twitch on John Bolton. So there they are with the boxes.
I saw it on television this morning. I'm not a fan of John Bolton. He's not a smart guy, but he could be a very unpatriotic guy. I mean, we're going to find out. I know nothing about it. I just saw it this morning. They did a raid.
Thank you all. We will be taking a break momentarily, but if you think
there he is with his mustache.
That would be much.
So that's what it is? But that was 2020. Wall Street Journal is crap. You can't win. Let's shut that up. All right. So that's what happened earlier today. That was really interesting. Let's get that out of there. So, yeah, like I said, I just imagine Bolton's little mustache is all a quiver now. But yeah, I bet again it has to do with classified documents. We'll see. But it's both Bondi and Patel both had something to say today. Let's see. Maybe I can find that statement. Where is that statement? Okay. Let's see. I think I know a source where I can find it pretty quick. And let's see here. Pretty quick. Yeah, not too quick. All right. Okay. Let's see down here. Oh, no. Okay, where is it? And where we got it? Okay, well, basically, yeah, okay, let's see, I'm reading here. National Security Probe. Well, what else? Where was it? no, I'm going too far. I thought I could find it right away. Maybe I'll try a couple other sources real quick. And how about, let's try that one. But basically, Bondi talked about, that's our Attorney General, Pam Bondi talked about the raid happening, and then Kash Patel, the head of the FBI, said no one's above the law. So that was interesting. Yeah, it's not there. Figures wherever I want to find something. But yeah, let's see. Okay, here we go. And let's see. And yeah, Patel, no one is above the law, and it seemed like Bondi posted that right under, or Kash Patel posted that right under Bondi's statement about the raid occurring. So, all right. So yeah, and in the end, I don't care if it's revenge. What those MFers were doing, with power that these scum should never have been entrusted with to begin with. What they did for just political means, screw them all. Screw them all. That's what I say. It's just outrageous, the crap that is going on in this country. You know? So that's how I look at it. It's not a shame at all if they're getting what they tried to do to others. So that's basically what I saw today, and it was just really interested. I was really surprised. I didn't know that they would go after Bolton, but when I think about it, like I said, he's probably someone that they're going to try to roll up, roll him up, and he. Roll him up and to get him to testify for a lighter sentence, and because the guy is still hated by everybody. So, all right, what else can I find here? Okay. Oh, yeah, this is interesting. We've got Gavin Newsom. Let me find that. It's not like Texas, right? We all know that Texas went ahead and changed, used the term gerrymander. Though gerrymander really only means when you create these wild-looking maps. I think the state of Maryland is a good place to look. Or Delaware, one of those two. They have this really crazy maps where they try to give the political party an advantage, and the map just looks totally ridiculous. Where Texas just more or less just kind of moves some little borders and stuff. It's more of the redistricting. And less of the gerrymander, which is basically making like a little critter. So kind of like me, make a little critter like me on a map. So let me get this. See if I can find this. Put this here. Get this up, and we'll look at Newsom. All right. Again, the crap source is MSNBC. That sucks. But okay, let's get here. Okay, so let me get this up. Let's find it. Turn that down, and let's see if I can find it on here. Okay. Nope. That's not there. Okay, let me go back over to here and over to here. Yeah, I'm still learning how to do screen captures on, yeah, right here. Figuring out a way to do it. Let's just try this. So, this is Newsom, and he signed a bill for redistricting, and will probably be more like a true gerrymander. He signed a bill for California just now. So let's go ahead and watch this. Sadly, it's from MSNBC, but yeah. Hopefully it won't be any of the commentary. It sucks. All right. Get that. Get that. Let's get that. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's hear what they're saying.
Let me do a quick photo.
Yeah.
So it's him signing the bill for their redistricting. Whoa, you suck! You suck! You suck! Newsom, you suck! You're a scumbag! Scum! New scum!
And we'll establish the formality with the special election proclamation, which will establish
you suck.
November 4th, this formal special.
You suck! You suck, you crook! God damn! This guy isn't a sociopath. I don't know who is.
Transitioning.
This guy would.
Just nearby, and we'll have a chance.
This guy, if he could get away with it, would peel the skin off your face and laugh while doing it. God, he's a creepy person. So that doesn't allow California to change the maps. So now there has to be a special election. And I don't understand, if you're in California and this dirtbag is running it, and you know there's massive voter fraud in California, and they don't get the election results that are real anymore. It's all fake. Ever since the political machine that Willie Brown put together to run that state. You know, it's been just a total mess there. But so they're going to have a special election, and the voters are going to have to, well, the political machine that controls the voting. I think that's a better way to say it. The political machine that actually gives you the voting results that they want will then say they can then redistrict the state. So even the fake polls are having a hard time saying that Californians want this. So we'll see. We got more eyes now on their voting shenanigans going on. So, and that's supposed to happen, I think, in November. So now that they signed it, so it's not like it in California it just goes into law or anything. So they'll do the voting here, and we'll see what happens. So I don't know why Californians aren't doing one recall election after another. You know, even if they're going to rig it against them, I would be doing that. I would be signing those recall. Get this fucking sociopathic piece of shit. You know, they're wasting. Who cares about the price of the election with all the money that they're stealing left and right with them being in power? You know, but God, this guy is such a scumbag. And you see, like this Gavin Newsom, you see both Democrat and Republicans, there's these slicky boys. That's what I call him. He's a slicky boy, sociopathic slicky boy. And there's that look just like this. They all have that slick back hair, and you look at the U.S. Senate and the House, and it's run by these white slicky boys like this, and they're all corrupt pieces of crap. It doesn't matter Democrat or Republican. They're all corrupt. and they're all scumbags, and some of them on the Republican side are business people because they're in power because they want to direct funds to their businesses and stuff. But it's all this kind of scum. Ugh, boy. Yeah. Well, as a raccoon, I'm not gonna tell you where I live, but I do not live in California, so I'm glad about that. But boy, this guy gives me a creep. Like I said, he'd peel the skin off your face if he could get away with it, and it would bring him much joy. Oh, he's a sick scumbag. So yeah, so that's what's happening in California. That's kind of interesting, but the road isn't as easy as it was in Texas. So like I said, a true gerrymander would be let's see, I don't want to delete that. A true gerrymander would be some crazy borders, not just moving borders north and south, a whole lot of voting districts. But yeah, you see some of the let me see, maybe I can find something, because it's really interesting. It's either Delaware or Maryland. They have this gerrymandered thing that was it shows where that came from, where somebody saw I think it was probably because it was a Democrat voting map and it looked like a lizard. because they wanted to steal votes from other people, but so they made these borders really ridiculous. But that's truly what a gerrymander means. Let's see. Let me see if I can find something. Most gerrymandered voting map. Let me see if I can find something. Yeah. See. Yeah, I'm just a critter, so you hear my typing. I'm just picking at that keyboard. It's just amazing a critter like me can even do that, you know? Let's see. Most gerrymandered voting map. Are they going to show me something? Am I going to get something here? Wisconsin I got here. Well, I want to see the pictures. Let's see. Oh, okay. Where is this? So Texas does have one. I don't know if it's part of the new one, though. Yeah, they got one that looks like... I'm just here to show the picture. Let's see. Where is this? So, this is Texas. I don't think this is part of the new one, though. Let's see. How boo could Texas be gerrymandered? Or is that theoretical? Okay, I don't know what's going on. Let's see if I can find one. Where is this? Is this Wisconsin? Okay, let me try this. Let me see if I can get it up here. Yeah, maybe I can download this. Is this Wisconsin? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't even know if it's real, but let me show it. What is that? And when they're really done outrageously, it's almost always Democrat. Okay. I don't even know if this is real. Let me see. Go here to here. Let me see if I can find it. This is an example. This is looking like... No, this might be Missouri or something. I don't know what state this is. But we'll just use that as an example. Doesn't matter what it really is. Okay, let's see. Yes, I got it up. All right. I was able to do that. Amazing. Okay, yeah, let's look at this. And there. So, this is supposed to be like an example. I don't know what state that is. I could look at it. I just want to show you, though. But see how they go out of their way to... like this, have this little corridor, goes up, and they dip it there. Now, this is a gerrymander. This is a real gerrymander. If this is real. And it doesn't really even matter if it's real or not. But this is what is meant by a gerrymandered district. Now, in Texas, they moved the borders of a whole map. So it'd be nice and clean, right? It'd be more clean than this. But any attempt like this, and this is where the term came from, is it doesn't look real, right? Like, why do you have this little corridor here? Yeah, because you want to grab more Democrats or whatever, and if the Republicans, it'd be, that's why you would do this kind of map. So that's what a true gerrymander would look like compared to a redistricting, which might just move the borders. And again, the purpose like in Texas, it was to get more, and it was fun to watch that. I watched that, and the Democrats kept asking the lead Republican, and he goes, yeah, because we want to have better results with Republicans. That's why we're doing the redistricting, But I don't think they created creatures like this, the gerrymander, I don't think they did that, quite that, but though in Texas they might have some of those in there. So, but the word he used, we want to be more competitive. We want to try to be more competitive, have some more competitive Republican races. So, and that is why a political party would redistrict. But a lot of times, and let me see if I can maybe find another one. A lot of times in Democrat states, they make those critters. They end up having a critter. And let's see. Okay, let me see if I can find another one. Okay, where is this? Oh, here's another one. What state is that? Illinois. Is this Indiana? All right, let me show you this one. Is that Ohio? That's a good one. Oh, North Carolina. Oh, yeah, let's look at North Carolina. Republican drawn congressional district. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. So I think at Daily Costs, this was back in 2012. They're knocking the Republicans, but look at the blue areas. Those are all gerrymanders. Yeah, let me get this one. This is pretty cool. Come on, let's get that one. Oh man, you can't. Yeah, you can't try. That's what's so bad about the left is that they'll tell you something about how awful it, and then they'll use and you're supposed to ignore the fact. No, you're showing a gerrymander there, you dumbass. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so this was 2012 to 2014, and they're complaining. Red is Republican. So let me see. Let me get this up here. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, let me see that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this is North Carolina. And this is an example coming from the Daily Cost. Oh, what a horrible. Are they even in business? Hopefully they went out of business. But they're bitching about Republicans redrawing. Again, Republicans are in red. Congressional gerrymander. The only gerrymander I see are the blues. They can't even lie. They gotta lie to you. So to get Democrat districts, right? You see the big one up here. They have like a number 1 up in there. All right? As a district. Okay, yeah, that might make sense, some of it, but they create a little gerrymander and it goes down, you see, and goes around District 3, and then they have this District 4. That's a pure gerrymander. Yeah. And then they have this other one way over, I don't know what district it's called, way over, I don't know, but yeah, it's just crazy. The red isn't gerrymandered. It's the blue areas that are all gerrymandered. No matter what, and they redrew it to try to reduce it, and you still end up with these crazy districts. And okay, we gotta. No matter what, we gotta draw lines to where all the black neighborhoods are all through, and they have to be represented by black. They can't be represented by any other race. So oh yeah, and then it's just terrible. And then the representatives that they get are like, like nut jobs like Crockett or like in Texas, that pimp daddy there. I forget what his name is. Al Green. Yeah, he's great. I get a kick out of him. So the areas in blue are a true gerrymander. and here they're bitching about it. Not fair, not fair. Well, look at what you got there. Look at what you left for the Democrat areas. So yeah. So I always thought that was interesting. What it really is. So yeah, they got other pictures here trying to show you gerrymanders. Yeah, let's see. But you can go into there, and there's just some really crazy ones. Here's showing Texas. This wasn't too bad. Over here, that isn't too bad. That isn't too bad. And there's blue areas. And I don't know exactly what the new map looks, so maybe I should. But it's really interesting to look at that. Here's one here. They're trying to show you, whether state that is and taking it's up towards the Great Lakes somewhere. Or oh no, this is Massachusetts. So how do we work in that Democrat district, Yeah, yeah. Well, why can't these people up here in the top, why can't they be incorporated elsewhere? Right? Because this trying to make it the purely Democrat, and I don't even know why you have to do crazy districts like that for Massachusetts. They're so damn effing liberal anyways. So why you'd have to do that kind of crap? But whatever. Yeah. So redistricting, and then there's the pure gerrymandering, which is, like I said, makes critters on a map. Yeah, you gotta end up with a critter. That's what a real gerrymander is. When you have these bizarre, and it's, like I said, it's usually all for Democrat, to make sure you keep a Democrat majority in a place. I imagine Virginia's got some really bad ones, but that really mess things up for Virginians. Where all the state except for D.C. and the surroundings and everything. I gotta imagine with Trump, with a few, hopefully they got rid of at least 100,000 federal workers, but if they didn't, that could really help Virginia, because you got all these freaking leftists, because that's all the that the Dems would allow to be employed in the federal government for the last, wow, man, we're going on to what? More 20 years? Yeah. And then, I'm sure even under Bush and stuff, it was pretty freaking liberal. Because it was it's just a uniparty anyways, Trump's about the only thing that's a little different. It's not a uniparty, because you can tell because how to go after him. But yeah, so that's a little thing. Let me look that up. I think it was a Democrat. Let's see. Who coined the term? And it's not a new term. Who coined the term gerrymander? I forget. It's like one of those things. It seems like I used to know this, but let's see. Who coined? My little critter thumbs there. Let's see. Who coined gerrymander? Yeah, let's see. Smithsonian. All right, we'll go with that source. I'm sure you get the right thing. Okay, let's see. Who is this person? Long and thin. Let me read a little bit of this. This is pretty cute. Let's see. Elbridge Gerry was a powerful voice in founding the nation, but today he's best known for the political practice with the amphibious origin. Wow, isn't that weird? This goes way back in our history. So, long and thin, the redrawn state Senate district in Massachusetts back then. So, there's the gerrymander. You see the It went back that far. Oh, redrawn state senate district of Massachusetts stretched from near Boston to New Hampshire border were hooked east along the Merrimack River to the east, a slice up Essex County, a political stronghold for the Federalists, right? So we're back in the early 19th century party, all by design of its ascendant political rivals, the Democrat Party. It worked. The freakishly shaped district elected 3 Democratic Republicans. The Democrats at first were the Democrat Republicans, but not the Republican Party. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. But trust, they have nothing to do with the later Republican Party, which was truly, it was an anti-slavery party. That year, 1812. So, yeah, this is where this goes back. Breaking up the country's previous delegation of 5 Federalist senators. Huh. So gerrymandering, the politicians' practice of drawing district lines to favor their party and expand power, is near as old. Today we see it in Ohio's Lake Erie Monster. In Pennsylvania's goofy kicking Donald Duck. We're the name to Elbridge Gerry, the governor who signed the bill creating the Mishappen district, was the founding father, signing the Declaration of Independence, and reluctant framer of the Constitution. Yeah, he didn't like the Constitution. Diplomat and 5th vice president, well known in his day, Gerry was a wide-eyed, eccentric, and awkward speaker. Okay, so nervous bird-like person, Gerry. So who came up with the word, though? Okay. Even a dissent. Gerrymander. So we call it gerrymander. All right. I'm sure it says in here. The word, okay, was coined by, okay, there we go. That's what I wanted to know. The word gerrymander was coined at a Boston dinner party hosted by a prominent Federalist. You notice we don't have the Federalist Party anymore. Probably because the Democrat Republicans all gerrymandered them out of existence. Bastards. Okay. At a prominent Federalist in March 1812, according to historian John Ward Dean, as talk turned to a hated redistricting bill, illustrator Elkanah, I'm not too sure, Elkanah Tisdale, drew a picture of the map of the district as if it were a monster with claws and a snake-like head on its long neck. It looked like a salamander. Another dinner guest noted, "No, a gerrymandered," offered poet Richard Alsop, who often collaborated with Tisdale. An alternate story was the painter credited as the painter Gilbert Stuart. Okay, so yeah, let's look back here. So that's the gerrymander. Very good. Oh, wonderful. So yeah, so right towards founding of this country, you know, with the Constitution and everything, and they're already doing this crap. So it's been so I guess you could almost say a true gerrymander is very American. I think it sucks, but whatever. But yeah, it's been with us forever. Wow, that's so it's really fascinating. So it's really fascinating to see that. As a little trash panda, I didn't know that. I didn't know it went back that far. Fascinating. So yeah. Political shenanigans and U.S. Politics go hand in hand. So, all right, we'll get that gerrymander out of there. Well, let me check the news, see if there's anything else. I'm just trying to get my I'm not going to do it today, but I'm trying to get my first 5 hours in. So I'm just schizophrenically talking to myself. I mean, because if you got no viewers, nobody wants to look at your crap. Even if it was good, which mine isn't, it's obviously crap. but you know, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a look here and see what else is in the news. We'll talk about that. Maybe try to do another hour. No, not another hour. Another half hour. Get 2 in. I'll have 3. Then I could just do 2 more sometime for 5. And all by myself. All by myself. Don't want to be streaming all by myself. Oh. Take a little drink here. Yeah, I say gerrymander this, damn it. What else we got here? So, okay. So yeah, we had Gavin Newsom. Let's see. All right, I'm looking around here, see what else is in the news. Just popping over to X, see what's out there. Well, that's kind of funny. Okay, yeah. Let me see if I can download this. See if I can download this a little bit. Nope. Damn it. All right, fight. This is from X with a thing called Fight with Memes. So somebody reprogrammed. Probably the guy driving by is that the actual person who actually reprogrammed it. This stuff is always real sus, right? So this is a person filming a let's see. I gotta find it here. Let me do my try. One of those road signs, one of those electric road signs warning you about something up ahead or something. Let me see if I can find this. Okay, we got that. Where's my gerrymander? We'll get rid of gerrymanders. Get rid of that. Oh yeah, I gotta put it over here. All right, give me a minute. I'm just a critter. I'm doing the best I can. I'm trying. I'm trying. Give me a break. Okay, let's see. Well, okay. Yeah, this is pretty funny. I like this. Let me see. Let me get this up here. All right. Okay. All right. And now to find it in Streamlabs. Very, very, very advanced tech for a critter, a trash panda. So let's see. Not you people, but me. It's like amazing. I can do this at all. Okay, yeah, there we go. That I could do this at all. So let me try. All right, we'll watch the sign. Like I said, I bet it's the same guy who did the programming. He then turned around, came back, and viewed it and posted it. So let's see. Because everything's fake and gay, right? Everything's fake and gay. So all right, let's see. Get that going here. Yeah, there we go. I guess I ain't posting this on YouTube. you already get busted for that. Oh, YouTube sucks so badly. There is fair use. 10 seconds of a music is not copyrightable. Damn. I mean, who even thinks of these lame ass songs if it wasn't for somebody's freaking YouTube? But yeah, I like that. Oh, I should have turned off the mute. That's what if I was a smart critter, I would have done that. But I ain't. I ain't. Yeah, I would have just turned off the music and then played it. But whatever. Screw it. How about Kick here? I can't get demonetized. It ain't monetized. Nobody's watching this shit. Just me. I got my Kick tab open so I can see if it looks okay, but I'm streaming to myself anyways. What the hell? Okay, so yeah. Kill your local PDF files. Yeah, kill them all. Well, what else was there? Don't play. Defund the ATF. Good idea. Suck my butt and slap my my toys. Yeah, there we go. Horses aren't real. No, they aren't. If I can eat my taint. And FDF IRS. Yeah, good sentiment. Yeah, screw our masters. That's why you pay taxes, because you're owned. You're property. You're the property. Yeah. Pay your masters what they're due. Let's see what else we can find here. All right. Yeah, that's fun. Oh, boy. Oh, yeah, that was something. Let's see. I don't know what it means, though. I don't totally know what it means. Here, I'll read it to you. So, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney announces that Canada will be dropping their retaliatory tariffs against the U.S. and removing tariffs on U.S. goods covered by existing trade deals. Okay, all right. So, okay. Now, does that include? They have up there basically what's called a dairy mafia up in Canada, right? Because they have like 400% tariffs on 200 or 400% tariffs on like American milk and American eggs. I mean, shouldn't those is that bringing those down? But my understanding is, under no circumstances with that mafia will they ever do that. That's one thing they won't do, apparently. I don't know. So, I mean, what are they talking about? Because that must be covered under our agreements that those tariffs are wrong. But so I got to find out more. I don't know about that part yet. So I can imagine that that Trump will come back and they'll lower some of our U.S. retaliatory tariffs. You know, saying, hey, that's a good step there. That's a good step. So we'll see. But Carney has no cards. But he doesn't need cards. Brookfield Management, a multi-tens of billions of dollars, if not hundreds of billions of dollars, investment firm, a real scumbag fucking organization, a corporation, bunch of God, how they find ways to they used to find ways to cheat their investors and stuff under the people that used to run that before, like Carney and stuff came in. But it's horrible. And all Carney's investments, like they said, like more than 90% are in the U.S. Right? So he's a multi-billionaire himself, running Brookfield Management. And I imagine most of Brookfield's investments are in the U.S. too. So Canada going down is good for Carney. God, I'm sorry. I can't say anything nice about Canadians. I just can't. It's like, what the hell's wrong with you people? You're going so freaking far. Lunatic leftists. You all think global warming, climate change, which is a stupid word. Climate always changes, you effing idiots. You all think that's so bad when historically our temperatures are nothing like they were during the Roman period. They're nothing like when the Vikings were raiding. We're coming out of the freaking little ice age. We're coming out of the little freaking ice age. Not even relatively near historical times. We're nothing like the temperatures back then. And you lunatics living in Canada, warmer temperatures would be so much nicer for you people. But no, I can't. And every stupid thing they come up with, you believe it. Men could be, okay, how dare you? And I'm gonna defend the trans rights. I believe it because they don't. Everything they come up with, you're okay with. Oh man. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know what that means with Canada. I really don't know. What does that really mean? Unless the egg, they're dropping those egg tariffs and the milk tariffs, because they're only hurting the Canadians. Yeah, I know you. If you had to compete against, well, you become more efficient. Damn it, you're sure not efficient when your egg and milk prices are 3 times higher than the U.S. You still, it's just the, damn it, and it's like, I don't care to argue with a Canadian about anything. And I'm not even sure as an American trash panda that they're talking secession. I don't think it'll work. They're still very liberal. Like Alberta going its own way. They want to, then they want to become maybe a state of the U.S. They're so very, very far left, even in Alberta. So, yeah, the resources would be great. It'd be stupid, the United States would be stupid not to want those resources, but but if you were to get them as a state, they're still going to be far left compared to anything, and left, I just mean not, and by the new world left now, you just don't think things out like men could be women. You just don't think that it's impossible. And then because you're told by your mainstream media masters, and in Canada, the sad thing is, their news is paid for by their country. They got propaganda, country propaganda, like the CBC. It's paid for by their government. And they listen to that shit. It's other countries like Australia is the same thing. They got news outlets that are run by the country, the government, funded by the government. And then for years they used to do really dumb things, because we don't want to be dominated by the U.S. Well, you always were dominated by the U.S., dumbass. One of the biggest companies for hires in Canada was always the U.S. auto industry. You were always dependent. U.S. didn't have to have anything built in Canada. It's and so you have to have a certain percentage, and eventually it became almost all of it, didn't it? Percentage of broadcasting on Canadian Airways. It had to be Canadian. Can't have the Americans. Though the American stuff was crap and all a bunch of propaganda too, but but now you got this thing where you trust the freaking government to tell you that's propaganda. Damn it! Oh, you can't win with that. You can't win. And yeah. Here in the States, the mainstream media was owned by the corporations, and the corporations ran the mainstream media to be lost leaders, so that they could get government contract. Yeah, they're screwed all the way, but it is kind of nice. I don't know. I guess I find a little bit on YouTube and a lot on X, though even X, a lot of it's manufactured, but I can at least scroll and find something that's just showing the news, this happened, without telling me how bad and awful it is, like when they were cleaning out the homeless camps in Washington. I was, great. Yeah, why do you want the mentally ill camping out? I mean, what What the hell advantage is that up to anybody, right? So just let me watch some news feeds and don't tell me about how awful it is. Because I don't believe that shit. I don't believe that shit. You know? Where are they going to go? Well, where were they before they came to Washington and started camping out? What do you care? You know? Why are they all on disability for being drug addicts anyways? How did that... Yeah, we know how damn well it happened. Yeah, so even the taxpayers pay for their drugs to do it. It's so sad. It really is sad. So, oh yeah, we're cruising in on 1 hour 45. So, talking to myself, just all by myself, just talking, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, so we'll try to get to 2 hours. And it's good practice of, you know, talking to myself. Oh, I'm not going to show this one, but this looks pretty... A photo of George Conway. Yeah, he's a big Democrat operative. Live streaming outside John Bolton's house as FBI is raiding it. Okay, let's see. Okay. All right. Oh, this is funny. So, yeah, instead of showing this, but off cam, this is UK news. So, this person, Basil the Great, one of those ex-posters from the UK, but they have a thing, let's see, I think it's called Off Cam, but it's a censoring board, you know, and basically it's everything that's not communist, you know, is being censored in the UK. So if you're just to the right of Pol Pot or Mao, then they don't want you to be able to talk or anything. So the way he's wording it, but I mean, you know, it's his organization, Offcam, but Keir Starmer just fined 4chan. So it's this Offcam thing. $20,000 fine imposed on the website. And 4chan, or whoever, a lawyer speaks for 4chan. I didn't know 4chan even had lawyers. 4chan has broken no laws in the United States. My client will not pay any penalty. Oh, and that's another story. Let's see, I'm taking another sip. Take another sip here. Another thing, I don't know how true it is, but there was that poor lady in the UK. Her name was Lucy Connolly. You know, during the riots that were happening, in the summer of 24, there was those kids that were killed by that choir, that Rwandan choir boy. Remember, they kept showing his picture as nice, meek little boy when he was a freaking nut job, African nut job, and that they killed those the poor little schoolgirls. Well, she posted a post, burned down the hotels that they're in, or you know, I don't care, right? And then a couple hours later, she took it down, and so they put her in prison. She over 300 days, she was in prison for that post, right? Something in the United States, not even the. If you call somebody the cops on that, nothing would have happened to her. Now, what should have happened is maybe X take her offline for a while, you know, give her a suspension, or they could even drop her on X for that, right? You know, but she was sorry for it and all that. But and then the other punishment would have been just people telling her, you know, how awful she was for saying that post. That should have been it. But no, in the UK, that kind of post, right? Though you could be in a crowd inciting them to kill your political prisoner, your political opponents in the UK, especially if you're a minority, like recently happened in the UK, and then signal to everyone that you want those people's throats to be cut, and you're not guilty. But Lucy Connolly, that post, and that she deleted a couple hours later, she spent, just recently released, she spent over 300 days in prison. While one of the first things that the Keir Starmer Labour regime did in the UK was to push for the release of so-called nonviolent criminals, because their prisons were all filled up, right, and they refused to build new ones. So the nonviolent criminals were rapists and killers that they let out early, and they found a place for her for 300 days. Yeah, just monstrous. So now they find 4chan for not complying with £20,000. Pounds sterling, of course. Yeah, pounds sterling. Nothing sterling about that shit anymore. It stinks. It all stinks. So, yeah. So, that's that. And let's see. All right. Roger Stone. Good morning, John Bolton. How does it feel to have your home raided at 6 o'clock in the morning? Because apparently Bolton thought that was the greatest thing in the world. All right, stop. Huh, that's interesting. Trump made an unexpected step. This 5 hours ago, though, at the People's House, which is a museum, a block from the White House. Interesting. So they're questioning why he did that, but that was 5 hours ago. See if I can find anything newer going on. And yeah, I got a bunch of newer stuff. Okay, and this is more about that Lucy Connolly lady. Lucy Connolly is set to meet representatives of the Trump administration next week over free speech concern, and is considering legal action over her treatment. She won't win. There's no legal thing she can do. She took the bad advice. In the British legal system. Oh, I got another scammer in my thing here. Okay. In the British system, you're not necessarily guilty until, innocent until you're found guilty. They have a system where if you plead guilty, they're more likely to give you leniency. Well, if she pled guilty, using her counsel, no one thought she was going to get prison term, except for me. I knew they were going to, because they were looking to make an example out of her. So, so supposedly you get more lenient, so instead they give her 300 days, more like 30 months. They gave her 30 months So she got out early, 300 days. Ooh, oh yes, master. Thank you for being so lenient. Ooh, master, thank you, master. Oh, you only gave me 30 months. You made me only stay in here, prison for a ex post for 300 days. Yeah, away from my little child, Yeah, thank you, master. You could have kept me in there for 30 months total. Yeah, that was her actual charge, was 30 months for that tweet. Like I said, that no one would have investigated in the United States, especially since she obviously regretted it. And what does X do anyways? They'll time you out or something a lot of times. So, and plenty of people would have been reporting her, and she probably would have been timed out. But yeah, and then just the online hatred should have been any public punishment. That should have been, the state should never have gotten involved in that. But good luck for her with the British suing them. Also like the U.S. They'll say you pleaded guilty, you're guilty. So good luck to that. Say maybe sue about the treatment. Well, is anyone gonna agree and say that that's what happened? The bruising and stuff. They'll come up with some excuse and to prison people. Yeah, we just grabbed her because she's being resisting and everything. That's all that is. That's all that was. But she refused to do what we told her. So she ain't gonna win. Especially in the UK with that government in charge, or either one of the uniparty. It doesn't matter, right? They're uniparty, Labour or Conservative. It's just the uniparty. Ugh, terrible. So yeah, we're closing in on 2 hours here. So, but the fact that she's going to be talking to some Trump people that's pretty cool. And let's see. That figure. Oh, I talked about that a couple of days ago. That Long Island Attorney General, what was her name? Devon, who made that big stink. Yeah, they're not going to fire her. They're going to place her on leave. I knew in Rhode Island, misusing her position like that. She actually threatened the cops and everything. So yeah, that woman that did that in the restaurant outside of Rhode Island, she had to be called to be trespassed and then wouldn't leave even then. So yeah, she's just going to be placed on. She's going to lose a little pay. Yeah, even though she threatened the cops, you will regret this. Cop just doing his job. In this case, definitely just doing his job. The restaurant tells you 13 times, we're closing, get out, you got to get out, leave the premises, and you refuse. And then the restaurant has to call. Sounds like they were even patient enough, and the cop was even trying to be patient, and then you still refuse to leave. And then telling the cop, I'm an AG, you're going to regret this. And she actually threatened the cop, you're going to regret this. And yeah, she's just going to get a little unpaid leave. Oh. Rhode Island is one of the most, may be the most corrupt state in the whole United States. So that's Rhode Island. And everyone pretty much said, yeah, they ain't going to fire her. Especially since it's she. And she's not hired because she's competent. Because she's she. Okay, let's see. Anything else here to talk about? Oh, this looks fun. Let me show this one. This looks fun. Just for a fun little post here. Okay, this looks kind of fun. All right, let me figure out how to do this again. That'll be that song that gets me. How do I show this now? Turn that off. Oh, that's what I gotta do. There we go. All right, let's get this one in here. Oh, this is fun. This is let me go ahead and find it, but this is like a black high school girls basketball game. Oh, it has to break down into something, doesn't it? Let's see. Let me find it and show it to you. Okay. Let me see if I'm showing it now. No, they're all dancing together. Okay, let's hold on a sec. Let me find this. Get this clip up. I think I have to click away. I have to do all these kind of weird things to try to make things show up because I don't know how to use this this software. Okay, there's that. All right, am I showing that one yet? Nope. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, I'm showing that one. Well, let me do that instead. Let me click this. Okay, where's that other one? All right, let me put that in here now. Yeah, here we go. So let me make it large. Let's okay, here we go. So this is kind of fun. It has to, you know, this can't play, so let's see. So I gotta find out where this is. Yeah! Let's start, yeah! Destroy! Yeah! Get her! Get her! Let's attack each other now. Gotta fight, gotta fight. Please clear the door. Please clear the door. Please clear the door. Clear the door. Of course, it can't just be peaceful. Oh, I gotta love this stuff. Okay, what else is there? Oh, yeah. Well, I think that's about it. We'll look for a couple other things, but I got about 2 hours in. Let's see. Yeah, we talked about that. That seems to be about it. Somebody says here, Kilmar Abrego Garcia has just been released by a federal judge. Okay. And we got the Gavin Newsom story we talked about. All right, more news from Washington. 719 arrests, 91 illegal guns seized in Washington, D.C. The other day, they made 40 arrests, 5 more illegal firearms, okay? And had 36 ICE arrests just the other day, including a suspected MS-13 gang member, okay? So, okay, yeah, we're going to go ahead and call this good enough. 2 hours of me talking to myself is more than I can handle for my schizophrenia. If anyone ever watches the stream, if anybody ever does, well, y'all have a good day, right? Okay, let's see. Now I gotta see how I turn off my software. I gotta figure out Streamlabs. How am I gonna end my stream? Right here. Here's the button. Take care, everybody. Or me. Okay. Bye now.